Hey crew, it's Adam. I'm a husband, a father, a pastor, a follower of Jesus who, just like you, is trying to learn what it looks like to fully live and follow Jesus in the middle of real life. It is one thing to be someone on Sundays, but what about Monday through Saturday? And so here, we're going to talk about faith and making a difference in the messy, ordinary moments where it's often the hardest to live out. Some weeks I'll share what God is teaching me. Other weeks I'll sit down with leaders, pastors, athletes, friends. There's no fluff, just encouragement and truth for your life between Sundays. I'm so glad you're here.
Well, hey, crew. Welcome back to Life Between Sundays.
Let's go.
It is Adam and Emily here. We are so excited that you're tuning in and listening today.
Honored.
We're here for episode 344.
Let's go.
We took a couple of weeks off, the past couple of weeks.
We did, and we heard about it as well.
Yeah, I know. I heard about it from my own mother.
Your mother was questioning things. I got a DM, people reaching out. I had several people stop me the last couple of weeks and just are like, are you not doing the podcast anymore? I'm like, we took a 2-week break.
Everyone stay calm, okay? We're not just going to drop.
Emily's mom, just chill out a little bit.
I know.
But seriously though, the conversations in the DM, I thought that was really cool.
It is cool, and it kind of makes you be like, oh, there is people out there.
We got people listening, folks.
They're out there. And thank you, Mom.
Well, thanks to Emily's mom, but also just genuinely honored. Just when people stop me and are like, hey, listen every week, and then it's a part of the routine is pretty sweet.
I know, that is cool.
It's awesome.
Super, super cool. So we're back. Don't worry. We're back and better than ever.
We're ready to rock.
Do you feel refreshed today?
I do. I'm just taking one thing at a time because it's a busy season right now.
You got your Alani next to you. We both got our Alanis
we
today. 200 milligrams of caffeine. We're going to get ready to bust the doors down.
I'm not sure if that's a lot or
church.
not, but either way is great.
That's a lot.
Is it?
Yeah, I think you're only supposed to have 180 a day, and that's 200.
Okay, here we go. Well, there we go.
I made the 180 up. I think that's right though. I think. Okay, 2 weeks off. What was your high-low buffalo?
Oof, high-low buffalo. High. We had baptism Sunday several weeks back at the church. That was definitely a high. 258 baptisms. Another high, it'd be, last week was able to go to Nashville at a John A. Keff event with some friends, which was really cool. And then hung out with a group of pastors in Atlanta, which is just awesome. There's something about being able to hang out with people in similar fields that just get the stress and the highs and the lows. You don't have to explain it because they live that. So that would be my high. A low or a buffalo. I really don't have a low. I feel like the low right now is just the pace that I'm running right now is very, very hot and fast. Mm-hmm. And so just trying to pace myself.
One thing to another.
That'd be my only low is just the pace. Otherwise, life is really good. I don't think I have a buffalo. I'm trying to think
Nothing? Do you have any good takeaways from your time in Atlanta? I feel like you pastors come together and you just have all of these light bulbs go off.
I think there was definitely light bulbs and notes and action steps and all that kind of thing. I think for me, this would probably be another high. It's just the what God's doing right now in churches across the country is amazing. Mm-hmm. And it's not just at Embrace where there's hundreds of baptisms and decisions for Christ, but every single pastor was they're seeing the same thing.
Really?
So it was really, really cool that way.
That is cool.
God's doing something all across the country. It's sweet.
Very cool. Are you ready for today though?
I'm ready to rock and roll. These are some honest questions, some very honest questions.
Okay, I'm going back to another high. Tell us about your Scottsdale trip without your phone.
Oh my gosh. We haven't talked about that. So because it's an overwhelming busy season right now, I bricked my phone from Tuesday to Friday, I think, wasn't it? Tuesday to Friday.
Yeah, it might have been Tuesday to Friday.
And it was glorious. And I did not, I made me realize how addicted I am to my phone because I was going through withdrawals, checking in and checking.
So you were on the plane and everything too? And you didn't have anything.
I couldn't even text my wife when we were at the same airport to find out where she was. So
every app besides call.
I couldn't do any. Yeah. I mean, literally, it was. You could make phone calls and you could book an Uber and
you left Tuesday and you're like, yeah, I'm leaving my phone behind, and I was like, I bet, sure, he's gonna leave his phone behind, and then literally did not hear from you. I'm like, I texted Walton. I'm like, did he actually not bring his phone? Like, I haven't heard one thing. It's a radio silent, which is not normal typically. I usually hear
sorry,
from you.
Emily.
No, it's not bad. I usually just hear from you once or twice a day. I'm like, I have heard nothing. Nothing. I'm like, is he alive?
It was good. It was good. I need to do it again. I think I'm going to try to do it again sometime very soon because it was so good and needed.
Yeah.
And I think everybody, like, there's something, you don't have to read another stat to tell you your life is better, your joy is better, peace is better when you're off your phone.
Yeah, I know. It's so crazy. You hear that all the time, but it's still so hard. Like, I
So
still
hard.
be at home and I'm just still scrolling. I'm like, I literally know that I shouldn't be doing this, but I just can't stop.
Well, specifically if you're anxious or overwhelmed or blue, like, your phone is it's not going to help you.
Yeah.
It's not going to. And so often we want to see our lives change, but we're not willing to adjust even the simplest things to see it. And I'm preaching to myself right now.
Hey, but you did it for a few days.
It was glorious.
Okay, so today, for this episode, we are going through some questions that you guys wrote in. So Adam posted on his story just questions about the Bible, questions about your faith, literally even just like fun, lighthearted questions, anything that you got. And there's a ton, which is awesome.
So many questions.
So many good ones too.
Oh, such great, honest questions, which I really, really appreciate.
Yeah, I was like reading them. I'm like, oh, I want to know the answer to that. Actually, I want to know the answer.
There was
to that.
some that I am going to bring. We got to make this happen. I'm going to bring our executive pastor in, Travis Waltner, because he's the one who nerds up the most. And so I'm like, I want to bring in Travis. So look forward to that. We're going to make it happen. Whether Travis wants to be on the podcast or not, he's going to be.
Right. And if we don't get to your question today, we have all of these questions like all stored away. We will get to it eventually. So if it's not today, it will be. It's on the agenda. It's coming up. So you can stay ready for that.
Let's go.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I have no idea what's coming, but let's go.
Okay. Your first question is that how can I get into reading the Bible and truly understanding it instead of just reading words?
So good. This maybe is encouraging and also discouraging. There's still so many days where I read the Bible and I have no idea what I read. So just to tell you that, like, be encouraged that you're not like, oh, I don't know everything about the Bible. No one knows everything about the Bible. Maybe a couple things to help you understand. I've mentioned it before, the Bible Project is amazing. So if you're going to go, a great place to start is the book of John. If you're new to the Bible, read the book of John. So it's like, what's the book of John all about? Search the Bible Project Book of John, and you will see a video on YouTube. They're free. It's usually like 7 or 8 minutes long. Just click it and watch it. That will give you the overview of the book before you start reading it. It's like, oh, this is who John is. Oh, this is what John focuses on and why he talks about this. And so do that regardless of the book of the Bible. I still do this myself. When I start a new book of the Bible, I search the Bible Project, Book of Proverbs, and I just watch it because it's like, oh, okay, this helps me understand it. And then actually going through, read one chapter a day or even one section, like one heading to the next heading. Don't feel like you need to rush through it. Just read one chapter a day. And read, if you're not understanding it, read a translation that you can understand. So the Message translation or the NLT, the New Living Translation, writes it in a way that's easier to understand it. Now, if I was trying to what is a very specific thing in Scripture, like what does God say about X, Y, or Z, I'd maybe want to use the NIV or the NRSV to learn nitpicky things. But the overall story of God and what Scripture is trying to tell me, I would say the Message, the NLT, start there, and that will help you understand it. And then the last third thing I would say is pray and ask God to help you understand. Lord, help me to hear one thing from today that you want me to take away, or one thing you want to change in me, or one thing that you just want me to hear from you. It doesn't have to be 10 things in a day. It might just be one. And so pray and ask God for you to help. And then if you want a fourth step, do it with a friend. If you're married, ask your spouse, hey, would you want to go through this and talk about it? Specifically if they're a little bit further along, or with a buddy, hey, once a week, would you want to get together? We can go through the book of Proverbs together and, talk about what stuck out to us. That's what I would say.
Okay. I have a question. I don't know if this is a bad question. Are there some books of the Bible that you would say are less important, not less, that you could probably skip?
I probably wouldn't say less important. I would say there's some that are more important. And when I say more important, for me, the Gospels. So Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, I would say are the essentials of the faith to read and understand who Jesus is. So I would say those are the most important books.
But say you get to like a book of the Bible and you're like, I don't understand this. Is it bad to just be like, oh, I don't really want to read that. I'm going to go.
I think specifically if you're new to the Bible, I would give you full permission just to skip ahead. Even if you're in a section of the letters of Paul and you're like, I have no idea why I'm reading about meat that's been sacrificed to whatever, blah, 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 skip it. Just keep reading. You're not studying to take an exam on the Bible. You're reading the Bible to learn more about who Jesus is and what it looks like to follow him. That's the goal. The goal isn't to be able to say, I can memorize this many scripture verses, or I know everything about, Adam and Eve and blah, blah, blah. That's not the point at all. Usually we do that when we want to find pride and like, look at me, I'm so holy. And Jesus is like, no, actually you're not.
Yeah.
If you don't understand something, skip ahead and keep reading.
Okay.
That's how I'd say. And if you get to a book of the Bible, a lot of times people try to start reading in Genesis, and it's pretty cool through Genesis and Exodus. Then you get to Leviticus, and you're like, what am I doing? Skip ahead. Yep, just keep going. Okay. Because there's some great books in the Old Testament too. I feel like for the longest time, I didn't read the Old Testament enough. And I love, 1st and 2nd Samuel is like 2 of my favorite books of the Bible.
Really? Okay.
Love it.
Okay, good. Kind of related to Bible.
Yes, hear it.
How do you respond when people ask you why the Bible feels so outdated?
I would say it feels so outdated sometimes, but then it feels like it was written yesterday other times. So I would say I can remember reading through the Bible for the first time my first year of college, and I kept saying audibly, this is the truest thing I've ever heard. Like I just couldn't believe. I'm like, they wrote this yesterday. There's no way that this could possibly apply. Whether it's the book of Proverbs, where you're just like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Or even through the letters of Paul. Like I read through Romans and I'm just like, this was written yesterday. And so I would say there's parts that feel outdated. It's, thousands of years old, specifically the Old Testament. So yeah, like there is stuff it's written a long time ago, but then there's other things where you're like, this is the key to a joy-filled life. Yeah. And no author today could possibly write something this good. And so that's what I keep coming back to is like, I just read it and I'm like, that's humanity. That's my soul. Like that's me. And I just can't believe how spot on it is. Yeah. So I totally agree. There's parts that you're like, this feels really outdated. Because it was written in a certain time period. But then there's other things that you're just like, this is so timeless. Yeah. And so that's why I keep reading. Even if I was not a believer, every business student should read the book of Proverbs. Business schools should literally have a class on Proverbs. Even atheist professors should preach through it because it's that dynamic. You're like, you want a successful life, whatever the word success means, you will find it in Proverbs. And by success, I mean like joy-filled, peace-filled. I mean, it's just so, it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, you should pitch that to every school out there.
Oh, every business school, I feel like I want to live a better life. Oh, awesome. What book would you recommend? Oh, there's this guy named Solomon who wrote this book called Proverbs. You should probably read that. Yeah, it's like, it's crazy. It's crazy to me that the Bible is not on the bestseller list, when it literally is the best-selling book every time period for.
What do you mean? I thought it was the most sold book ever.
But they don't put it on the New York Times bestseller list because it would be number one every single time.
Oh, so
isn't that
just
crazy?
Totally
like that's one of those things that's just like so bizarre. Like, I mean, like think about that. That's insane that they don't put it on the New York Times because it would be the number one every single time. Yeah. Like what?
Yeah, that is.
It's just kind of crazy. It's things like that I'm like, yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but God he just does his thing.
Yeah.
So
super cool. Okay, what's a passage in the Bible you used to understand one way but now see completely differently, and what changed?
I don't think so. That great question. I don't think that there is like a verse that I read one way and then understood a different way. I think there's been some things that have shifted. I I had Preston Sprinkle on and he talked about women in ministry. That is something I definitely have shifted on since being a Christian, is even women in leadership, women in ministry. And by the way, if you disagree with this, that's totally cool. We can still worship Jesus together. But I wasn't like anti women in leadership or anything. I just thought that that's all I'd ever seen. And then there's certain verses in scripture where it's like, it sounds like women shouldn't be in leadership. But then you start like, oh, okay, so in the book of Acts, there's all these key leaders that are women. Oh, okay, the resurrection of Jesus was discovered by women.
Yeah.
The lineage of Jesus has women in it, which at this time, women were property. They weren't anything more than that. And so I feel like that's been an issue or a topic that I have changed my perspective on.
Okay.
But I don't think there's anything that really comes to mind that I'm like, oh, I thought this and then I think this.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much that I'm learning constantly, but I don't think I have anything that I've like shifted. Like, I thought it meant this and I meant that.
I mean, that's a good example that you gave.
Maybe something like small, like where I'm like, oh, I misunderstood that. But I don't think there's been something that I've shifted like, oh, I totally don't believe that anymore.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think there's things that I don't focus on as much anymore. Like was this an actual event or not? The story of Noah. I think that was something I fixated on a lot more. And now I'm like, either way, it doesn't change anything for me.
Yeah. Was
there 7 literal days of creation? I think I would have focused on that a lot more as a new Christian. Now it doesn't, for me, back to like the Gospels, Jesus and the literal death and resurrection of Jesus is what that is the essential of my faith. It was not just a metaphor. Like that for me is one that you go to bat for.
Yeah. Okay, good. I like that question. Before we go any further, there are just some awesome partners that make life between Sundays possible. Adam, can you tell us about our partners this week?
Yeah, our partners are amazing. The first partner is the International Justice Mission. IJM is a global nonprofit working to end slavery and violence around the world, and they focus on the most vulnerable of people experiencing poverty. IJM goes into some of the deepest, darkest, cruelest places on the planet Earth, and they bring the full justice of the law with them. If you are interested in becoming a Freedom Partner, my wife and I have been Freedom Partners for years. This is just someone who gives to the work of IJM every single month. I want to encourage you, go to ijm.org. You will not regret it. I'm so proud that we're Freedom Partners. Our second partner on the podcast is Vern ID Mitsubishi. Vern ID Motor Cars is a growing employee-owned faith-based company that strives to deliver dreams and transform lives in all that they do. They are amazing. I just had several friends last week say, hey, I listened to the podcast. I got a vehicle from Vern ID. They blew me away. So whether you're looking for a Honda CRV like my wife drives, whether you're looking for an Acura, a Mitsubishi, a Ford, GMC, you name the make of vehicle, they're going to have it. Literally, if you're looking for a boat this summer, their boats are gorgeous. It makes me want to buy a boat.
I wish I could buy a boat.
I wish I could buy a boat too. Your family's got a lake place, so it would actually.
My parents have a boat. Yeah.
I
don't need a boat. My parents, yeah.
But this would be an upgrade. Their boats are not just boats. They're beautiful.
This is a boat.
So VernID.com. Go get yourself a vehicle and a boat.
This is a very thoughtful question. Someone asked, "How can we pray for you in this season?"
Jeez. You can definitely pray for me. I would be very, very grateful. You could pray. So I'm in one of the sweetest seasons of life. Like this morning, my journal time was me just thanking God for the way He's answered prayers in so many levels. I'm just so grateful for Him. But I would pray for strength. And if you'd want to pray for strength and encouragement, and God to provide in some specific ways, I'd be so grateful for that. Because I'm definitely a little overwhelmed in this season. Yeah. And so I'd be so grateful for you just be praying for God to provide everything that is needed in the journey that I'm running right now.
And trust.
And trust.
That Adam would trust.
That I would just trust God as provider. So that would
Word of the
definitely,
year.
that is my word of the year. Yeah, trust is my word of the year, and I'm not doing a great job of it. But it's so crazy, and I look back at that's my word. I'm like, that was spot on.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be so grateful if you'd pray for me and God's protection and encouragement and all the above.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking that question.
Yeah, that's really thoughtful. Okay, here's your next one.
Let's hear this.
Are tattoos a sin?
Are tattoos a sin? I have no perspective on this whatsoever as I look at my sleeve. So for me, I would put
Pray
this
for Adam's tattoos.
yeah, I would put this in the non-essential category, which means that you and I, as Jesus followers, can agree to disagree, and it's totally cool. So there is a verse in Leviticus specifically that talks about, tattoos, basically. So there's some people who would say that's the Old Testament. We don't live by the Old Testament anymore because we live by the New Testament. And there's some validity to that for sure. Also, so I did a deep dive on this before I started inking up my body. And
when did you get your first tattoo?
I got my first, my sleeve on my right, I started when my brother passed away 3 years ago. My ink on my left, I think I did it 2 years before that.
Oh, okay.
So that represents my kids. But yeah, I did it because I wanted to know, and I know that people are going to ask me.
Yeah.
There's a verse in Leviticus. So when I did my research, it really seemed like it was very much connected to pagan worship. So it was something that was done at the time to foreign gods. Mm-hmm. And it was
tattoos?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was seen as something that was connected to the worship of gods other than the God that we worship as Jesus followers. So again, with the combination of, hey, it is an Old Testament command that no longer applies, but even more so for me that
so the Old Testament says you shouldn't get tattoos.
You shouldn't get tattoos in Leviticus. Yep, it shouldn't. But it also says, when a woman has her time of the month to not blah, 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 blah. And so, I mean, there's a whole lot going on in there. Jeez.
Blah, 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 blah.
I'll let you fill in the blank there. But I think for me, it's really, I would go back to those two things, but specifically the pagan worship thing. All of my ink has meaning, whether it's personal. So I have a tattoo of the resurrected Christ from Revelations, the Lamb that was crucified. And so I feel like if your ink is worshipful and thoughtful, that it would be an okay thing to do. Now, in certain parts of the world, in Haiti specifically, if I was trying to reach people for Christ in Haiti, I would not have ink on my arm. Okay. It is very much looked at as something that non-Christians do. And this is what's always so interesting. So, in the States, alcohol is a big taboo in certain circles. Like you're a Christian and you drink alcohol. Now, I would say Christians should be very careful not to use ever in excess, and also to be mindful of who you're around and who people are looking at you. In Haiti, though, alcohol is not a taboo thing for Christians to partake in, but tattoos are very much so. Like very, very much. I don't know the comparison. It would probably be like me drinking like a glass of alcohol kind of openly like if I was at the church and I had a drink in my hand, it would be like, what are you doing at church drinking alcohol? That's how it's very, very not good. So I think to be mindful of where you're at and where God's placed you in, that's a very long, messy answer. But it's
different parts of the world think obviously very different things.
Yeah, and I think it's just important to be mindful of that. So when I went to Haiti, I actually asked the person who invited me, I was like, I can wear long sleeves shirts.
Yeah.
And he's like, nope. He's like, actually, I kind of want this to be something that maybe is a conversation point for them to see like, oh, you can have tattoos and that is not a heaven or hell type issue.
Yeah.
And so I definitely had some interesting conversations. So I declined alcohol because I don't drink. So I felt bad. I'm like, I am
like, get this guy out of our country right now.
I am so sorry that I'm going to pass on your very generous gift of alcohol. But yeah, so
Okay.
I don't know if I answered the question. Did I answer the question?
I think so.
Yeah, it's a messy answer.
Yeah. There's
But-
no like.
And again, you can look at scripture and that would be something that I'm like, it's totally cool if you disagree with me. I totally understand. And again, if in your family there's some connection where it's a negative thing or something that's like ungodly and will cause others to trip up in your life, I would encourage you not to. I think it's so important. It's like my rights. No, as Jesus followers, you have sacrificed, you've given your rights at the altar of God. And so I think like, yeah, I'd go for on and on.
Okay, I have one last question for you.
Let's hear it.
A good old dating question. Let's hear your dating advice.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, what to do when two people are in different denominations of Christianity and they're dating? So example, if one is Protestant and one is Catholic.
Yeah. Oof, great question. So if you're in the situation, what should you do?
Yeah.
You're going to want to figure that out before you get married. Because that can cause major issues. And that is not like I cheer for this team and they cheer for that team. Nope. Like this, like your walk with Jesus as a Jesus follower is the essential thing. And I would say for Beck and I, it is the reason we have a great marriage. Without Jesus at the center, if we're not on the same page, that would not be a good thing. So you're going to want to talk about this at length and really get on the same page before getting married, because it can be a friction point. So what church are you going to attend? What does that look like? And also making sure your partner isn't doing it just to please you now, but once you get married to them, they're deuces in the area of church. Are they actively pursuing Jesus? Like, and can I worship and connect with Jesus if we go to this church versus this church? I think it's really good to get on the same page about that. I don't think we value that enough pre-marriage. And then it becomes something that's like, this is huge. Yeah. Because now we have kids and they're trying to figure out, are we on team mom or team dad when we should be on team mom and dad?
Oh yeah.
And so I think to wrestle that down is really important.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you have any other questions on that part?
Do you think this is something like you address like within the first like couple months of dating, or
well, if you're
or will
like,
that freak them out?
No. If you're like Beck and I, we dated very, very short, so we would have definitely wanted to do that.
This was a first date material for you, probably.
No, I don't know about that, but I would say, yeah, like I think it is a conversation you want to have sooner rather than later. Like specifically if you feel like, man, this is really cool. She's really cool. He's really cool. Hey, faith-wise, I would say faith-wise in general, I'd want to know that. That'd be a first date question for me. Like, hey, so like Jesus, what's that like for you? Yeah. Well, I'm kind of whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'd be like, oh, that's fun. Well, see you later. But I would want to have those questions sooner rather than later. Not like, hey, if we got married someday, what church should we attend?
Hey, you want to talk about our future kids? I actually made a photo on AI. This is what they look like.
Oh my God.
What church are we going to bring them to? There you go. That makes it easy. Like, look at this cute little kid.
That would cross every red flag imaginable. So I'd be like, I'm going to block my number, move to a different apartment so she can't find me. But no, I think it is really important to have that up front. Like, hey, just like, what does Jesus look like in your life? Like, hey, tell me about like, where do you go? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I just think it's really, really important to have those conversations. And if you're married.
What if you can't come to like a consensus? Is that just kind of like you probably aren't meant to be together?
I think if you're like, no, this is, I am XYZ. And hey, this is like a non-negotiable for me, or no, like I love that you're into Jesus, but I'm not. That would be a deal breaker. Yeah, it would be a deal breaker. We shouldn't be unequally yoked, is what it says in Scripture. But even just away from that, if you want a lasting marriage, I don't know how it works without Jesus. Like, I just don't. And even with Jesus, it's hard. But like without Jesus, I can't imagine. And if you want a long lasting marriage, you want to be on the same page spiritually. Very, very, very important.
Yeah.
We put other things way above that, and it's like, no, this is like
This is the thing.
This is very important.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I like that answer. Thank you. Thank you for all of that wonderful insight you got for us
we went
today,
all
Pastor
over
Adam.
the place. These questions are good though.
Do you ever get nervous what I'm going to throw at you?
I do. Your follow-up one specifically, I'm always like, where are we going here? But what I love about this, it's such an honor. Like these are the questions that people have that they never feel like they can ask.
Yeah.
And maybe you grew up in a house where you couldn't ask questions like, what about? Or what about? I'm a person who, since birth, I feel like I've just been a question asker.
Yeah.
I'm super curious. Like,
and now you got your own question asker at your house, Mr. Anderson Weber.
Oh, Anderson Weber. He is asking questions left and right. But I think that strengthens our faith. If we're afraid of questions, we shouldn't be afraid of questions. And as parents, like I hope I've fostered an environment where my kids feel like they can ask any question about God. Because all of us are going to have questions. It's whether or not we feel like we have permission to actually speak them.
Yeah.
And when we don't speak them out loud, I think that's when Satan can start twisting things and like, yeah, they are like this and this and this. Where when you bring a question out in the open, it kind of loses its power a little bit. And then you're like, oh, there is an answer to this question, or there's not an answer to this question, but I felt like I can ask it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's really cool.
Well, thank you guys so much for all of those questions. And as always, if you have any questions that come up or you're talking to somebody and like, I wish we had the answer to this, please write it in. We would love to answer it. We would love to get, not me get you answers, him get you answers to your questions.
Go follow me on Instagram specifically if you haven't already, Adam A. Weber with 1B, because we will drop in the question box, or you can just DM me.
Yeah.
And we will add it to the list of questions.
Add it to the list. But thank you guys so much for being here. Anyone else?
Yeah, our partners, we need to thank IJM, the International Justice Mission, an incredible nonprofit working to end slavery and violence around the world. Go support them at ijm.org. And then Vern Ide Mitsubishi. Let's go, Vern Ide. If you're looking for a vehicle, make sure you go check out vernide.com. No matter where you live, they'll ship it to you. Last but not least, thanks to all of you who listen in. I love that you DM'd me and said, hey, we missed 2 weeks.
Where are you at?
What is going on? I just don't take that lightly whatsoever. So have an awesome rest of your day.
Thanks, guys.